All right, all right, all right. How is everybody doing on this deep into the dog days of summer Monday? And we'll just start right off. You've seen the title of the stream, and today will be the last noon stream until next Wednesday. So I've got a bunch of things I want to catch up on around the house, things that need to get done, yard work needs to get done. I got to get a few of I got to get the football channel getting moving. Mainly it's just stuff around the house and just really a lot of stuff that needs to get done. So, and then Matthias is coming for the weekend. So we're going to be doing a lot of fishing and everything. So I will be back um, next Wednesday because I take Matthias back on Tuesday. So the next noon stream will be next Wednesday. Now I'll still be doing the men's streams. We're still doing Kyle and I doing a football stream tomorrow night. Dolphins Jets Monday night game, and of course camp getting ready to start here for the Dolphins. So we'll be switching the focus over to football for at least a few weeks until and unless something happens with hockey, but it's not really much to be expected, right? How we doing, Hungry, Colin, Sean? How we doing, bud? No. Any concerns about Rodriguez? No, not really. Oh well, yeah. On the you mean in terms of what do I think a McDavid contract's going to look like? I don't know. I've seen all sorts of crazy things written, like he might take 15 just to stay. He might want 20 million, but you know, they got to get a goalie. But in terms of Rodriguez, the only concern I would have is they might trade him simply because I'm taking a vacation. That's about it. Yeah, Kachuk got married, Colin. Yeah, that's good. That's good for him, right? Ah, there we go, Vincent. How we doing, buddy? Nice to see you too. Huh? No, you know what it is, Vincent, is I just moved the camera a little bit. I moved the camera instead of like having it like this because when I have it here, I don't really look like I'm looking at the camera so much. It don't matter to me. Anyway, it wouldn't be a noon stream if Vincent wasn't giving me shit. Look emaciated. I need to put some weight back on. I don't know what to tell you. If I could afford more food. Hungry says lots of headlines hinting at McDavid already having made up his mind. Yeah, who knows with hockey media? Exactly. Right? But what are they hinting? That he's made up his mind to stay or made up his mind to go? You know, I don't do Twitter, so what have I been doing? So I've been getting a lot of work done for the men's channel, and I took this thing called downtime on this weekend. It was shocking. I actually did no work yesterday. Vinci says, I'm just concerned 6 cups in a row. Going to ask a lot of effort for me as well. I'm good. Hey, at least I'm not fat. So the weight loss is it's all because of the Lyme. I have to take stuff for the Lyme, and so if I don't eat, like if I'm not constantly eating carbs and I mean, you guys saw me last year during the playoffs. I was eating donuts and ice cream after every period. I didn't gain any weight. So yeah, in the last couple of weeks, I've lost too much weight. I gotta start eating some rice again or something. But I'm not sick. I'm healthy. But yeah, too skinny. A tick there's a place called Palm Bay Regional Park. And if anybody knows where that is, there used to be a whole big wooded area with a bunch of hills and stuff, little hills, like a dirt bike thing way back in there. And I would go hiking back in there, and it was like 2 hours you could hike and circle back on yourself. And that's where I got it. Colin, yeah, okay, I got to check that out. Thanks, buddy. Craig says, why would McDavid stay? Leon showed he wanted money over getting better. Right. So, hey, Adonis. Hungry says it depends on the outlet, whether he's staying or going. I can't imagine what a trade for him would look like. Right? I mean, he's got a no-move clause, so he's not going anywhere. You can't force him to go like to Chicago or something. I can't imagine Edmonton would trade him in the Western Conference. Now you got to go to the East. How much would Montreal be willing to give up for him? You know what I mean? Is there anybody else that would even have the amount of cap space to go with the possibility of winning at some point? I don't know. Zion says, yeah, also congrats to the Kachucks on their wedding. Oh, Montour and Lomberg attended. That's pretty cool. That's cool. Hey, Rosado. Weekend was good. We were at Donna's mom's house a little bit longer than we thought we were going to be. So by the time we got home, we were just too exhausted to do the video, the inappropriate conversations. But I feel like this upcoming Saturday is pretty much a guarantee we'll get that out. Colin, you think the Rangers? That's possible. Yeah, I mean, they got the goalie, right? They got the goalie. They could probably make some space. Would they have the assets, though? That's the thing. It's like it's rare what the Panthers were able to do, which is trade for a guy that's one of the best players in the league without ruining your asset base. Donna says, I think McDavid takes 4 by 14 and a quarter. You think he'll take 4 years? No, it's wood, Ted. It's wood. It's a wood sign. Greg says, well, McDavid just plays out the next season and goes wherever he wants for whatever money, high or low. And that could happen, right? Like that's what we were talking about. He's got a no-move clause. So the only other thing that he could do is if he said he could tell Edmonton, I'm not signing, but you got to send me to you got to send me to New York. You got to send me, force his way to another team, and then just Edmonton takes what they can get. Hungry says, it would be really funny if he ended up with the Kings like Gretzky. And then what if he ended up with the Kings and then the Kings still can't beat Edmonton? Right? What if he ended up with the Kings and they still can't beat him? Hey, Adonis. Adonis, yeah, I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, I think I got it right here. Yeah. Yeah. We got it right here. That's all going to go on the fridge. I got to take everything off the fridge. I got so many old things. That's part of what I got to take care of this week. John says it could end up being a Bedard situation minus the almost winning part. Yeah, I saw Hockey Psychology's video on Bedard today. It was interesting. But I think we would trade Kulikov. Nah, there wouldn't be any reason to. Like, his cap space doesn't do anything for us. I think Kulikov is here to stay because it's only like 1.1. So even when it gets to the point where he's at 7D, I think that's he's fine. Vincent says the idea of McJesus trade is absurd. You can't get 8 firsts and you can still lose the trade. Yeah, it would just – they would have to take less than market value because the only way he's getting moved, I think, is if he tells Edmonton, this is where you have to send me. This is the only place I'm going to go. Or maybe just 2 places, you know. And then Edmonton just has to take what they can get. Right. Yeah, Sean. The problem for the Oilers is they have no space for a big goalie contract. You can only pay so many guys those big salaries. Greg says the Kings have Perry. They're locked into the Stanley Cup final. Yeah, I don't see why there would be any reason to trade Kulikov. I don't think anybody's moving until we know about Tkachuk. Hungry says, is it that absurd? Gretzky got traded, so did Patrick Waugh. If he wants out, he'll be out. Did they have no move clauses back then, Hungry? Did they have no move clauses back then? Did Gretzky have a no move clause? And Waugh, he wanted out, right? But also there was no cap back then either. So the salary stuff wasn't as much of a consideration. I think there's just a lot more that has to be taken into consideration now with the cap and everything. Yeah, Chucky after the honeymoon will get the surgery, right? Gretzky did not have a no trade clause. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, so I mean, between that and the salary cap, it does kind of change the dynamic. Hungry says a no move wouldn't matter if he was one saying he wants out. For Waugh, yeah. For Waugh, sure. But the thing of it is it can still affect the compensation, right? Depending on the situation. Like if Waugh was saying I'll only go, to Colorado, then that would have affected things. Adonis, I think you're right about Edmonton just running back the same goalie tandem. It looks like that's what they're going to do. Hungry says it was part of what the Oilers got for Gretzky was $50 million in cash. Yeah. It's just crazy, the difference. Hey, David. Just because I've got so much work that needs to be done around the house, I need to take a week off now and another week in August, just from the noon streams. We're still doing the football stream. We're still doing the men's channel. It's just the noon streams so that I can get working because I got so much work, yard work and chainsawing and cutting back of stuff to do outside. And so this way I don't start in the morning. I have to stop in the middle of doing all that work and do the noon stream. So, and I ain't going to, I need Kyle's help. So that's all. It's just the noon streams. And then Matthias is coming for a few days, so he'll be here. So next Wednesday we'll be back. Marlins announced a couple of days ago that Sellers won't be traded. Isn't that crazy how they have to make that announcement, right? The ownership. Bowman already said they're running it back, right? David, I know. How much did one idiot coach in Montreal change hockey? I know. Oy vey. I hope I'm on this channel long enough to see Vincent turn 50. That should be fun. No, it's all good. It's not supposed to be that hot. Like we're supposed to be in the 60s tonight. So the next couple of days aren't going to be that bad. Donna says, might as well trade for a goalie at the deadline, but when has that ever worked out? When did Wall get traded? When did he got traded in the middle of the season, right? Dennis says, I believe no move clause always existed, but were rare. Now it's the norm after the 2005 lockout. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, summer there in Florida's starting for real. We start cooling off. I mean, we'll still have some hot days. But by the time it's the second, third week of August, you're kind of shocked if you hit the 90s. It's more like 85 and 70. It starts to cool off kind of early. Yeah, Wall gave up like 7 or 8 goals, and when they didn't pull him, he went to the GM on the bench and said he's played his last game as a Hab. Yep, I remember that. I mean, I saw a video of it. It's not really talked a whole lot about how that whole situation went down. And it was crazy. I mean, they just left him in there to rot like that. Otterman says, hot. I'm an Orlando native that now lives in Arizona. We're at 113 today. I take a nice rainy Florida afternoon. Yeah, I believe it, man. Hey, Colby, how you doing, buddy? 113. Jeez. Oh, my God. That's crazy. Luckily, when I did my my basic training in Texas, it was February. So I didn't get the worst of that Texas heat. I can't imagine what the basic training was like in the middle of the summer. I got lucky. I signed up I took all my physicals and stuff in August, and I officially entered in October. But then basic training wasn't until like February 12th or something like that. So it was nice. It was not bad. Colby says, I'd rather be 97 with no humidity than 83 with humidity. It's about right. Yeah, 92 there feels like 104. It's not so bad here today. But we've had those happening thunderstorms for a week now. Otterman, yeah, Lackland, you were there in November back in 06. Yeah, I was there in 90. So Vincent wants to know, with the loss of Marner and the addition of mid players, do the Fallen Leafs look more like the Hurricanes or Preds? I don't know about the Preds. I think they'll be okay. I actually don't think Toronto's going to suffer that much. I mean, they're in a difficult division. We're going to find out what Austin Matthews is really made of now. That's for sure. Oh, Ken, if you were in the 50s there this morning, that's gorgeous. Put some of that in a box and send it to me. David, I did basic at Fort Still in Oklahoma in the winter. It was actually kind of fun. Got to shoot and toss grenades. Nice. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, 86. That's a long time ago. Yep. It wasn't, we didn't have, like, I don't remember even one day where we like really sweating all that bad. It was just deep. It was cold in the mornings. It was like 40 in the morning. Hungry says the way they're glazing Maselli, they would have you believe that he's the second coming of Jesus. You know, that happens, right? Remember when with the Kachuk trade, the Flames fans were sure that Huberdeau was leading them to the promised land. Yeah, no pressure for the kid, right, Hungry? They ran you guys to death. What I found stupid was the first 2 or 3 days, it was just bread and water. You know, it was just stupid. It was just stupid. Brett, and the flight, I had to get up at 4 a.m. to get to Miami International for the flight. And between the series of layovers and making us take a little puddle jumper from whatever airport we landed in Texas to another little airport, and then get on a bus for like 40 minutes to get to the base. I was up at like 4 a.m, and they didn't have us lined up outside our barracks until about 2:30 in the morning. And then they got us up at 5. So maybe we got 90 minutes of sleep, and then they got us up at 5. Hey, JD. Feels like football practice, but with guns. Yeah. Yeah, we probably took, the ASVAB in Miami. Yep. Vincent. Yeah, the Flames still got their weather, man. Yeah, I remember taking that ASVAB. They thought it was going to be a pilot. When I took the ASVAB, they tried to convince me to not join the military. They said, "Why you join the military? And you're too smart." But because I wasn't going into OCS. Otherwise says, "What happened to Huberdeau and Weegar? They fell off the map faster than Johnny Hockey did in Columbus. Ripped to that poor man and his brother, right?" So Huberdeau was never a 115-point player. He is a 70-point to 80-point player that had an insane contract year on an incredibly offensive, talented, and minded team. I mean, it was 85 assists. And he was never going to continue that level of play. David says, "I was supposed to be a helicopter pilot, but ended up doing nukes in Germany." Yeah. They were going to send me to pilot school, but my depth perception of my eyes was no good, like bad, like useless. Everything else was great. Hungry says that has to be absolutely the best time career year in NHL history for Zito, right? Yep. Absolutely. And then they paid him all that money. Oh, when you think about how much money Huberdeau's making, and then you think about the guys that we have on this team making significantly less. God. I haven't thought about that in a while, but the money that they gave Huberdeau, It was just stupid. Like, the front office is supposed to be smart enough to know. Great White. No, it's not members only. It's definitely not members only. I'll drop a link here. Hold on. Just give me a second. I'll drop a link here. There you go, Great White. There you go, buddy. Kenneth, yeah, exactly. It's a win for Huberdeau and losses for Calgary. Yeah. They might finally make the playoffs this year. Yeah, exactly, David. He's decent, but not a Super Bowl superstar. Certainly shouldn't. I mean, like I said, when you look at what Reinhardt's got, right? Otterman says they call it the Calgary tax. They call it poor management. Where was the Florida advantage when all we could get was a 45-year-old Yager? We had to overpay for Bobrovsky too, right? Bob wasn't coming here unless we paid him. It turned around quick from we couldn't, every year there was somebody like Yager, right? And we did the whole Dave Bolin thing. God, Talon bringing that in. David, yeah, we ended up underpaying on Bob, right? JD, yeah, I'm kind of done for the off season. I've got so many other things. I'm trying to get the men's channel going. I got to get the football channel going. I gotta get. The house was just an absolute wreck from when Karen left last year, and I just never got. When she left, I had to pack up all of her stuff. So every room, she was here for 6 years. So every room just got torn up, separating her stuff and my stuff. I did it all on my own. And I just never really have put things back together other than a few rooms because I've been working and I just didn't feel like doing it. So I'm taking it easy on the content right now. Nobody's watching anyway. It just hurts the damn algorithm anyway. You know what I mean? I put out that taxes video. It got like 400 views. So, I have to spend some time getting the other things situated so that I've got my other income streams situated by the time hockey rolls back around. But for off season, I'll put something out here every once in a while. But I have to shift my focus a little bit so that I have some other viable income streams working. Hey, Simon. Yeah, exactly, Vincent. He says, we assume that smart people run these teams, but honestly, looking around, it's baffling how many organizations are deep in the mud. It's wild. And then sometimes, bad things happen where, look what happened with the Preds. I know they got you. I don't think anybody saw them getting that bad like that. Tennis says, is there or has there been any former Panthers? Every time you played against them, he's scoring. Yeah, who was that? Not Trocheck. There was somebody else that we got rid of. Damn, I can't. The name is on the tip of my tongue. Damn it. I had to think about that, Kenneth. There was a guy, but it wasn't Trocheck. It was somebody else. JD, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you on that. Yeah, let me make sure I email you today. All right, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, email what you have so far, and then I'll take a look. I appreciate it. Hungry says YouTube changed how they count the views. By the way, you only count people that like and comment on videos now as a view. That's interesting. So what are they trying to get rid of bots as views or something? I haven't heard that at all. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I haven't heard that. Holy crap. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, brother. Thank you, bud. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mr. Shark. When I blow up your avatar, I get a really good shot of Mr. Great White there. Thank you, man. Genuinely appreciated. Lil J says everything went wrong for the Rangers and Preds last year. Yeah. Well, the Rangers kind of did it a little bit to themselves. I still think they panicked. Not that they were beating Florida, but they just ripped that team to shreds so quick. Thank you again, Great White. Thank you, brother. I wasn't Tippett, Colin. No, it was before. It was in that Trocheck time period. Maybe it was Trocheck. I don't know. I don't think so. Damn it. Dave says these are 20-year-old alphas, and when you throw in injuries, etc., it's really amazing what Zito has done. What he's done, though, he'd say it's all Sasha. Yeah. He gives Barkov a lot of credit, which is fine, right? Hungry. Well, I know that they changed the algorithm. Because all of a sudden my shorts feed got really weird. The shorts that I'm getting, like I keep getting the same succession of shorts over and over again. But it's only happening on my Flying Fluffy account. When I watch shorts on the exclusively male account, it's like a normal shorts feed. It's really something's funky going on. Thanks, JD. I appreciate it, man. Dave says, I used to run 15 to 20 tow trucks. Not as difficult as the NHL with a lot of personality conflicts. I bet. Maybe it was for Toronto. Craig. I think so. All right, JD. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, let me see what it is, and then I'll see what we can do with it. Hungry, yes. Link me to a video, yeah. Because I watch a couple of those guys. I watch like what's the guy's? I know like Think Media. Is the guy's name Nate Black? Is that his name? I watch a couple of those guys. I hadn't heard that. But I'll have to see what the hell that's all about. Shark Week is really good this year. Oh man. Yeah, maybe I'll sit down and watch some of that. I've been working so hard on getting videos out for the men's channel. I got a couple other things coming. Dave says, does anybody know why AI can't get the voices right? There's a few that are pretty decent, but it's hard to come by. Like if you see the shorts where Like it's the animated figures. Those are pretty decent. Kenny says, everyone was focused on the Rangers and Preds last year, and some people missed the point. Boston decided, you know what, let's tank. Yeah. Yeah, Boston just said, okay, we're done. Hungry says, I think it's YouTube double dipping. They're cutting the number of views creators get paid for while increasing their own share only by manipulating their algorithm. Now that's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check. Send me that video, Hungry, because that's interesting. So who's my surprise team, Simon? Well, I don't think Montreal would be a surprise. I think a lot of people are expecting Montreal to be good. I think maybe somebody over in the West, maybe the Ducks can be good. Could Columbus, because Columbus was in a playoff spot for quite some time this last year. Maybe Anaheim or Columbus could make some noise. Hey, guys. Hungry, just send it to flyingfluffyhockey@gmail.com. Thanks. I says, I asked Google, and the team that has the most goals scored against them by ex-players was the Rangers. This was for the years 17 to 22. Huh. Had to think about who that would be, right? There's got to be at least a couple of those that were Keith Yandel. Gotcha, JD. Yeah, there's a few decent ones, Hungary. Yeah, this is Sharks territory, Vincent. It's funny. It's funny because there's more Sharks off Florida than California and more Panthers in California. Yeah. I saw a video today. Somebody caught like a 10-foot hammerhead off the beach. I mean, it's a 10-foot hammerhead, and they catch it off the beach, and people go swimming. I went swimming. I says, I was always worried about being beaten by ex-Panther goalies more than anyone else. James Reimer going to shut us out. Yeah. Well, except for Monty. Up until last year, when we would play against Monty, it would be an easy win. It'd be an automatic win. Then all of a sudden, he decided to get good. Dave says they're mountain lions, but still Panthers, right? Ted, I haven't hung it up yet. Because that's another thing I got to do is rearrange that a little bit, try to figure out where everything's going to go. But I won't be in recording anything in that room until, the preseason preview or the season preview in the preseason. Yeah. Well, no, that's not. Well, I'm not fixing it up for the Panthers stuff for during the Dolphins. I just thought about that. It's the same. Well, it's kind of two different walls. Like the Dolphin wall, I got to turn the camera to the right. Yeah, I got to get down there. Sharks don't see us as food. No, they see us as a skinny seal. Hey, Damien. David says, I grew up fishing, surfing, and diving, and almost never did I see sharks. So, I grew up fishing on piers, and we saw lots of sharks. There was a big hammerhead that would always come to Holliver. Every year he'd be there. Huge hammerhead. He says, what's crazy? There was a shark attack a few years ago in a lake in Virginia. A bull shark swam all the way up and bit someone. Yeah. It happens. They've had years ago, like decades ago. There's been, you know, incidences of bull sharks all the way up in the little tributaries of the Chesapeake Bay. Not my river, but a couple rivers up, couple fingers up. But it was like way back in the 30s or something. But it can happen. It can happen, sure. Yeah, the Habs definitely got better. David says, why Pirates made folks walk the plank. It wasn't to drown them. Exactly. Anaheim could be decent. I mean, they're not going to go winning a cup anytime soon. But they could be one of those bubble teams with Calgary that could possibly get in. But that's about it right now. The Sharks are just trying to help you get back to shore. Oh, there he says, I always saw them, almost never didn't see them. I gotcha. Yeah, if you watch Jaws in Reverse, it's just a story about the Sharks trying to help people. Marlins are almost at 500, eh? Time to start trading people. Back in the 70s, your uncle caught a 13-foot hammerhead off Boynton Beach. Jesus. Yeah, they're out there, man. That's crazy. What's the oldest hockey jersey I have? The one I'm wearing. The one I'm wearing. Yeah. This is the old. I mean, this is old. This is from back in the day, as they would say. This jersey's could be 30 years old. They says you see big, like 15-foot plus hammerheads chasing black tips twice a year here during the mullet run. God damn. Right? Hey, there's always something bigger. There's always something bigger out there. That's wild. I don't know. I've heard of smoked mullet dip. I don't think I've ever had it. It's kind of like, if you know, we used to make tuna fish out of bonita. If you caught a bonita, we would just make tuna fish out of it. It's pretty good. Kenneth says it could be the same 8 teams making the playoffs in the East. I think the West will have some changes. There's really not a lot of room in the East, right? If the Rangers are better, apparently they think they might have a chance to get back into the playoffs. Well, who's going to be out? I mean, Ottawa's not a guarantee. But only if, like, Boston suddenly gets better again, or the Rangers pull it together. Is Washington a guarantee to continue to keep moving forward? I says that I see the memes about the CEO caught cheating at the Coldplay concert. There's one of Chief Brody and the Shark. No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't see that one. All right, David. We'll see you, man. We'll see you next week. I didn't see that one. I did not see that one. Simon, I'm pretty sure we're going to do one of the streams on Saturday with Donna. Sure thing, Ted. Yeah, I got Chief Brody up here, but I don't have Quint. I think Quint's the only one I don't have downstairs. And now you want some fish dip, right? Yeah. Smoked fish dip is good, man. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Publix used to. That's what I remember. We used to get the Publix smoked fish dip. It was just a little thing. It wasn't overly cheap. All right, Hungry. Appreciate it. Yeah, but we used to catch bonita off the pier in the summer, and then just make tuna fish. Right, Kenneth? That CEO has never been more popular. I mean, just if they wouldn't have freaked out, nobody would have known. Right? If they wouldn't have freaked, but how dumb do you gotta be to go someplace like that in public when you're cheating on? I mean, when you've got that much money and you're cheating and you're gonna be in public like that, God, the stupidity level is just absurd. The only thing I like about the schedule, Simon, is that we're going to be getting those couple weeks off for the Olympics, except for the part where a lot of players are going to be, Panther players are going to be at the Olympics. So otherwise, I'm fine with the schedule that we got. Very happy with it. Hungry says some people don't realize how stupid they are. A guy became immune in 24 hours. I mean, just how dumb do you got to be? Like you're worth all that money. Like it's one thing you're going to be dumb enough to cheat. It's another one that you're going to be dumb enough to cheat at a public concert. Like, Mike says, my question about the cheating couple thing is why is the CEO only one being cast as the bad guy? What about the girl? So that's an interesting question, Mike. When I met Karen, she was friends with a dentist. And he was coming over to her house a couple times a week for dinner and talking. And he was married. And when I called her out on it, I said, that's not cool. The dude is married and you know that he's not telling his wife, and you're feeding him and he's over there. And she was no accountability whatsoever. It's not my fault. It's not my problem if he doesn't want to tell his wife. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's not my fault. He's the one that's married, not me. And I think that's a common attitude. I think that's a common attitude. Free dental exams, right? Have you ever had fish tacos? Yeah, I've had them. Yeah. There was a pub in town in Centerville. I used to go get fish tacos on Tuesdays. Yeah. Ted, yeah, they're over the cap for now, but once Chucky gets his surgery, we'll be fine. He'll be on LTIR for a while. Hey, Petraro, yeah, the Dolphins are looking at Douglas potentially. They got to do something. I mean, it's just they should have just had somebody already in, or at least should have somebody in by the time camp starts. You know, the secondary is, I mean, they may as well just have me out there. They may as well just throw my ass out there for what we got. Storm Duck and Cater Kohu, and it's a weak spot. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, I haven't seen a lot of the memes with that CEO. It's just and it's funny because maybe if she doesn't panic, he didn't panic, but people panic, right? Maybe in hindsight, they're like, oh God, we shouldn't have panicked, but it's too late now. It's too late now. And you know, the thing about it is that they had coworkers there. People obviously knew. Everybody's clutching their pearls like, oh my God, it's the CEO that's cheating. It's like, come on. How many of them people you think are being faithful? Right? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that just the way they got busted was just so, God almighty, so crazy. All right. I'm going to get ready to roll. It's Monday. I got to get my eBay pack and shipped done. I know we're a little bit early. Hey, Matthew, only Jaws. So we'll not be back here for the noon streams until Wednesday. I says if they had reacted normally, no one would have cared. Right. Right. Greg says CEO and head of HR seriously want to get caught at some. Well, I think the woman was divorced. Vincent says women have no internal accountability. It's always external from men and then from culture, and the culture is broken. Yeah, I can't even disagree with you. You can meet women that have some internal accountability, but it took me 30 years to meet one. Donna shocks me on about 3 times a week. She shocks me. Nobody's perfect, but if she does something or says something that she's not happy with, I don't even ever have to say anything. I literally don't have to say anything. She'll come back an hour later or the next day and be like, yeah, that was I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that. She does that all. It does it all on her own. But the hellfire that she's been through to get to that point, and she's the only woman I've been with that I've known that has that internal accountability that you're talking about. But they do exist. They do exist. Yeah, Publix Deli is sweet, man. Yeah, Publix Deli is fantastic. Hungry. So I'll be live. So I won't be live noon until next Wednesday here. Colin and I will still be live tomorrow night in the football channel, Dolphins, Jets, Monday night. I'll be live on the men's channel Wednesday night. And then Saturday night, Donna and I should be doing another Inappropriate Conversations. And then I got to start having some football content, obviously, because football is getting ready to, start here and everything. So, all right, everybody, go enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate all the love and the support. And I will see you in this space on noon next Wednesday. But I'll see you guys that are going to be there for the football stream. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8. Dolphins, Jets, the Monday night game, the Monday night Dolphins, Jets game. Just don't spoil it for Kyle. He doesn't know. He don't know. He's innocent. He's innocent.